give the choir another hand. For those of you that may have come in after the introduction, I'm not Reverend Dale. We've hijacked the services for today. I'll get a little feedback. You're doing good. Thank you. I appreciate that. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Debbie Hammond. My friends call me Deb. I used to be the spiritual director for the Centers for Spiritual Living in Savannah, and I am currently in ministerial school with One Spirit Learning Alliance. And today, I am here to spread my awakening and my knowledge and wisdom and love with all of you all, and to receive that as well. Because what I know is that as I give, I receive as well. Because we live in a reciprocal universe. So one of the things today is, the topic for today is trust. So, as I was preparing for services for today, and I told my congregation before, it's like, Spirit always prepares me for whatever the message is. And so, how I get my topic a lot of times, like, okay, God, what's my lesson for this week? And there's an opportunity that shows up every time. So it's become this thing of trust. So even today, this morning, as I was sitting there, and I was looking for my notes, because I had them this morning, for this morning's service. And I'm like, okay, that was my crutch, in a way. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now? Where are my notes? And I'm like tearing up everything and can't find it. Again, I'm reminded, trust. Spirit is saying, trust me. Trust. So I'm trusting. And Becky reminded me earlier, she said, you barely looked at it in the first service. So what I know is that in this place right now, this is an amazing moment, amazing opportunity. I moved out here from California. And so it's been 4 years, almost 4 years now. And even that move was a place of trust. Because I knew in the moment, it's like I was done with California. It was time for me to do something different. And I was like, all right, Spirit, where am I going? And it was like this voice was like, Georgia. I'm like, really? Okay. It's like, do I know anybody? So I didn't really know anyone here. I originally grew up in Washington, D.C. So then I moved over to California because of the military, a lot of it. But then I stayed. So then it's like this trip here. And I'm like, all right, Spirit, when am I supposed to be in Georgia? And it was like the 4th of September of 2013. I'm like, that's a weird date, but okay. I packed up everything, got rid of everything in my house pretty much. Packed up I have a Highlander. So that Highlander that I have on it was packed to the rim. Whatever I could fit in there, everything was there. I'm like, all right, God, I'm trusting you. Mine just like I had no job, nothing. I didn't even know where I was staying. Uh-oh. They have a warning. This is an alert. This is an alert. Warning. Did you trust it? But in this process, like moving everything, it's just like I took off. I was gone. And on the way, coming along this way, Spirit always kept reminding me, it's like, trust me. Just trust me. I'm like, all right, God, I got it, that thing. And, so once I arrived here, I ended up staying in a hotel for the night. And I'm like, okay, God, next morning, I still don't know where I'm going. Can you help me out here a little bit, please? So that next morning I got up and I called a friend of mine to give prayer. And as I was checking out of the hotel, a friend of mine from California called me. And she actually had a brother. I was living in Atlanta at the time. She had a brother that was in Atlanta. And she said, I just got off the phone with my brother. He said he has a place that you can stay with him, while you're here. This was on the exact day that Spirit said I needed to be here. And I was like, man, that was fast. Okay. But still, in the process of me trusting, there was still worry that was still coming up because where am I going to go? How am I going to make this? Because mine was like whatever monies I had, I realized it's like, okay, God, there's no job that's here. What are we doing? And I made it from California to here with everything, money that I had. Everything worked out perfectly. And so it just reminded me to continue this journey of trust. So with my notes, that's all gone. I'm just like, okay. I remember it's like, as I was writing, because it becomes a part of me as I do this work, as I'm trusting Spirit, it becomes a part of me. And not to say that there are times that this bracelet doesn't change arms periodically. Because it's like, okay, God, what are we doing here? How are we doing it? What? You want me to do what? Really? And the thing becomes, yes. And it's like, okay. So even when I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and so she said, and I told her I was speaking, so she said, so are you ready? And as there was a part of me, it's like, I was born ready for this, yes. And then automatically there was this commercial. I don't know if you all have seen the commercial. It's a lottery commercial, and this guy's on the basketball court, and he's about to shoot the ball for like $500,000. And the guy asked him and said, so, you know, are you ready to make the shot? And the guy said, I'm born ready for this. So he throws up the ball and misses the shot, misses the basket. It's like brick. And it's like he tried several times. So that was the thought kind of that was going through my mind. It was just like, really? So what am I really talking about? Am I really ready? But yes. And the same thing applies for each and every one of you. Because the thing that I know is that I'm not on this journey by myself. Because I'm here with you all because you all called me here and I called you all here. Because we have work to do. This is a journey that we're here to do right now, starting now. And the thing becomes like, are you willing to take that chance? Are you willing to step out and say yes? Are you willing to trust? That is within you, the Spirit within you that knows exactly what to do. Just as easily as you trust in the chairs that you're sitting on right now, because you're trusting that these chairs will hold you up. That's God. Each and every one of these chairs is God. It's like it's holding us, it's guiding us, protecting us, guarding us. We have to trust. Trust that is within you that knows exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Another part of my story is like when this journey for me moving out here, and I shared this with the earlier service, before I left from California, I went skydiving. Yeah. If you ever want to let go of whatever, go skydiving. Just go. If you have issues with trust, go skydiving. Have issues with fear, go skydiving, okay? And it's so funny because there were 4 of us that went. And because I was like, what is it I can do for my birthday? It's like, what's something big? And that was it. And so 2 of my friends were in the car with me, and one of my other friends met me there. And I'm driving, I'm the one driving, it's like, and I'm like getting to the place, and I'm looking at people flying, you know, falling down from the sky. I'm all excited and everything. And people, and my friends are like, Dad, can you watch the road, please? I'm like, I got this, trust me, okay? And so, you know, we parked and everything. So by the time we had got ready to go up into the plane, one of my friends, they had asked who wanted to go first. And so one of my friends was like, I'll go first because if I don't go first, it's not happening. And I was like, okay. So I knew I wanted to go last. So it was cool. So I'm standing there, so everybody had already gone, and I'm standing at the door. So I did tandem. So there's a guy that's on my back, and he's strapped in. And so the guy was telling me, he said, okay, so a couple of things. He said, you know, I'm going to count to 3, and we're going to jump out the door. I'm like, oh, okay. Now, mind you, the whole time I'm standing there, and I realized that, I'm like, there's something that I need to be scared of right about now. Because I'm up in a plane, I have this guy that's on my back, and it's like, I don't know for sure if the chute's going to open. But in that moment, I realized, and I closed my eyes. I literally stood there, closed my eyes, and I'm like scanning for something to be afraid of. And in that moment, I realized that fear is what I make up. Because I was about to make up something to be scared of. For something that anybody, normal person could have said, heck no, I'm not going up here. I had friends that said, I'll take pictures of you from down here on the ground, okay? And so, but I realized in that moment, I trusted. I trusted that the plane was going to land safely, regardless of what anyone had said before I had even gotten on the plane, that the chute was going to open, that I knew exactly what to do, even if that was my first time going. I trusted. And in that moment, I realized, it's like, okay, God, you got this. And so the guy was like, okay, so we're going to count to 3, then we're going to jump. I was like, all right, cool. He was like, 1, boom, out the door. And I'm thinking, it's like, oh, wait a minute, hold up. while I'm out here. And it's like one of the things that I realized was that while I was out there, we went like 13,000 feet. No, actually it was 30,000. No. So when we were falling, I turned my head to try to look back at the plane, and I realized it's like, well, I guess I can't go back up there. It's too late. But what I shared earlier is that that's what reminds me of when we're coming through the birth canal, when we're babies, when we're being birthed into this world. That we're coming through that birth canal. And it's like, once we come out, we can't go back in. We may try, even as we get older, we may try to go back, and it's like, no, not happening. But the thing becomes like, now that you're out here, now what? Because now you have to trust. You have to trust that you're going to be provided for. You have to trust that your parents are going to give you nutrients, the food that you need to grow. You trust this. Because as a child, when we come out, what we know is love. What we know is that we were taken care of while we were inside the womb, so why can't we be taken care of when we're outside the womb? And the thing is, that's how God operates. It's like, God takes care of us, even when we can't take care of ourselves. Because we think, we try to figure out, it's like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to, we start stressing about whatever it is. How am I going to pay this bill? What about this job? What about this relationship? Whatever, we start stressing. So that when we're in that place of stressing, when we're in this place of duality, because it's like either you're trusting God or you're not. Either or. So the thing becomes like, if you're trusting, you can't be in fear. If you're trusting, you know that God is going to work this out. You have to trust. And sometimes we choose not to, because sometimes like we may think it's like it's easy, or I did this the last time, I'll do the same thing. That same process that we did the last time may not work this time. It worked the first time because how did you get that idea before in order to work out whatever the situation was? So now it's time for a different idea, a new thought process. So what is it that you do? You trust. There is a power that's within us that knows exactly what to do, how to do it. It created each and every one of us. So if it created each and every one of us, don't you think that it knows how to work out all of the situations that we've created in our lives? A lot of the situations that show up based on fear, because it's that thought that we put out there, that seed that we plant. We're putting a seed out there. What if this job doesn't work out? What if this relationship doesn't work out? Even before a relationship or anything new has happened, you're planting a seed. So you expect whatever that seed that you're planting, you expect it to grow. You expect something to grow. What if I don't make enough money? What if I can't pay my bills? The thing I'm reminded of is like in this right now moment, in this moment right now, are all of your needs met in this moment right now? Think about this. So when you're in this space, that's what we have. We have this moment. We get to trust this moment. We get to ask for what it is that we want. And the thing is, God doesn't know big or small. God knows, yes. You ask, it says yes. You start complaining, you start worrying, that comes back. Because all of a sudden it's like, it's confused, like, what do you want? You're asking, so ask and be patient. You're asking, and all of a sudden it's like, now it's like, well, this isn't happening fast enough. It's like, can we get this? I need this right now. And yes, and sometimes it's like, we may need something right now. But there's something else that may show up. It's like, what else can I do in this moment, since this is not manifested? Trust. Because the thing is, when you're not trusting, what ends up happening? It becomes a spiral effect. It's like the more and more we start worrying, it's like we start worrying about one thing, something else shows up, something else shows up. Stop. Whatever that is. Stop the thought process, stop the words. Speak something different. Focus on what it is that you really want. What is it that you, not on the surface level, but in that heart level. When we talk about, when I know people that had large sums of money, and it's like, and all of a sudden within a year, you hear people, it's like, won the lottery. And about a year later, all the money is gone. And you think, it's like, how did they lose all the money? a belief that was within them, but they didn't discern it. There was a belief within them that stated that they may have said, well, if I get all this money, then somebody's going to take it away from me. All these people are going to come and ask for money and stuff. It's going to take all my money. That's the seed that's planted. That's how our lives are. What are the seeds that you're planting? And are you trusting those seeds? When we plant seeds for roses or fruits or vegetables, we know that the seeds that we plant, that what we put in there is going to come up. The same thing happens with our thoughts. What seed thoughts are you putting out there? And it's like, and then what do you believe in? Because we can speak one thing with our mouth, but there's something else that's within us that says something totally different. There's another thought that's happening behind that says something totally different. Are you trusting your words here and you trusting here? Because wherever you're putting your trust, that's what's manifesting. And even if you can't see how to trust it right now, be willing to. Be open, be willing to see and do something different. So, you still up for don't work? I haven't worked with last time. Okay. So, but in this moment, I'm grateful because even when Reverend Dale asked me a couple of weeks ago, no, 3 weeks ago or so, he asked me if I wanted to speak. And there was a part of me that was just like, I had to think about it for a moment. I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And he kind of gave me this look, and it's the same thing that happened when I first spoke at CSL. And the minister asked me then, he said, do you want to speak for a Sunday? And at that moment, I told him, I said, yeah, I think so. He said, well, you want to take some time to go home and think about it? I said, no. I said, if I go home and think about it, the answer is going to be no. So I had to trust. So every time there are always opportunities for us to trust. There's always an opportunity to trust. Be willing. Be open to it. That's what we're here to do. We're here to trust. We're created for this. We're ready for this. There is a calling that's on your life that's been there since day one. And the thing is, are you willing to say yes to that calling? Even if you don't know what it may look like in this moment. Be willing to step into this and say yes. Because in that yes, there's an amazing opportunity that shows up. When people ask, it's like they ask for certain things, even in prayer. And I tell people, I say, not get ready for what you're asking for. Be ready. Because as soon as you ask for this, it's coming. And sometimes it comes really quickly. And sometimes it takes a little while. Because other things have to be worked out. But in that process of waiting, be patient. Trust yourself. Because God that's within you, it is you. It is you. Because when I came here, when I moved here, it's like the Spirit keeps telling me, trust me, trust me. And I'm like, all right, God. But then it's like in one moment, I really thought about the trusting. Because the thing became, it wasn't necessarily trusting God, trusting me. Because the thing is, it's like, if I'm God, I have to trust me. And the same thing applies to you. You all are God. And you're the living God. So trust you. It's like we think of, there's a big you and a little you. It's all one you. So just as much as I trusted that I could stand up here and I can speak to you all today, and that you all trusted that I would say something, but there was a trust that was there. And I'm just like, okay, God, I trust me. I trust who I am. Even when I don't know what it looks like or how it works out, I trust that there is that within me that knows exactly how to fix this, how to work through this and move through this. So, I just want to thank you all for everything, for this opportunity. And in this moment, we just go into prayer. Just recognizing that there is truly only the one life, and that is God. That life is perfect, it is whole, it is complete. It is my life. It is the life of each and every person here in this room, each and every person that may have thought about coming to service today, anyone that had anything to do with the service, Reverend Dale, this whole community. Bless this planet, knowing that we are all connected to God. And in this space and in this time right here and right now, God is doing amazing things in our lives. Things so great that we may not even be able to see it right now. But we open up our hearts. We open up that inner part of who we are and receive it and say yes. That in this awareness, this space, we know that God is, I am, and all is well. God is, you are, and all is well. So as we stand in this place of knowing that all needs are met right here and right now, that anything and everything that we desire, that we ask for, that we know lovingly within our hearts, that's for our highest and best, that is being brought to us right now. That we don't have to go and chase it. We know that it comes to us. But we don't have to go out and try to figure out how to do it. We trust that is within us that will bring us everything that we need. Just say yes. Just say yes. Just say yes right now and know that it's done. Open up your hearts knowing that God is, I am, and all is well. And in this moment, I'm grateful for this opportunity to just speak this word, to know this truth, knowing that it is already done. And I release this knowing that it's so. And so it is. Amen.
Give it up for the choir.